to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
All right, let's welcome in Mike Martz, former head coach of the St. Louis Rams. He was a Super Bowl champion as an offensive coordinator for St. Louis in '99, and you can catch him on the 33rd team, and they produce NFL content every week. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. So we have on our show something called the Victory Lap. And it's when somebody has an opinion and it turns out to be correct. You're allowed to take a victory lap. We just listened to the sound of you assessing Trey Lance after last year's Chicago game. You remember what you said?
Not really. I know he didn't play very well. He just did not look good to me.
Yeah, so we wondered if you wanted to take a victory lap because it looks like everything you said came true. Well, I don't. You always hope for the best for these guys, and I think part of his issue is he's very, very young. A lot was expected out of him. Sometimes they just need to change their scenery for a while, and they can come out of it. Hopefully, you don't want to see anybody fail. Obviously, I feel bad for him that it hasn't worked out in San Francisco. Is part of being a coach trying to figure out when a young quarterback is improving, as opposed to when he's hit a ceiling and he might not be good enough? How do you make that determination?
The best thing you do with young quarterbacks is block out all the distractions. The pressure on him, you try and take that away. You try, the outside pressure on him. You look at the things that he's got to develop to be a good player, and you highlight that and you work on it the best you can. The stuff that he does really well, you obviously want to make a big deal out of that, but it's all about confidence. I'm just not sure whether Trey has the cognitive skills, to, at this level anyway, to play, see things and react quickly enough. Brock Purdy, obviously, he excels at that. God gave him that, and I don't know whether there's just outside things with him. He just has kept him from being that way, Trey, or I don't know if he can ever have that. But sometimes, like I said, you just need to change.
Yeah, Mike, you know what's incredible? When I found out we were going to talk to you, there's so many opinions of Brock Purdy, and so many are true. I need to see more. Why was he mystery relevant? But you're an offensive guru. To you, what is it about Brock Purdy, and does he have staying power? Why is he running this team so well?
He's got ice in his veins. Nothing phases the guy. And the other thing, he has such a great grasp of what they want to do in offense. And the cognitive part of it that I just talked about, Patrick Mahomes does it at the highest level I've ever seen. Obviously, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that play at the highest level that have those kinds of skills. Brock, you'd have to give him the highest grade for what he can see and respond to. Plus the fact that he's very accurate. The only thing about that game when I watched it towards the end, he got a little sloppy. He lost his composure just a little bit. He tried to make some plays, and the head coach, Shanny pulled him aside. I saw him on the sideline and got him to lock in again, and I thought that was really good.
How do you determine how good? Is it harder to determine just how good Brock Purdy may be because he's got so many weapons on offense and because Shanahan's offense is so diverse?
Well, and certainly that's part of it, and plus they're so good on defense, so they can be patient. You put Brock Purdy at say a Houston or something like that, where they're growing, it's going to be difficult for him. But those skills that he has are still going to come out and shine. He's just not going to quite have the success probably, and get beat up a little bit. And that's the problem with those young guys is if they're not surrounded by a good offensive line and they don't have a guy who can kind of bring them along in the way they call plays, it's hard. But Shanny's the best there is at developing and calling plays. Their offense is it's so methodical. The big plays that they have happen just in the course of a regular play because of the athletes they have. And when you have that and then you get the ball back right away from the defense, that's a hard team to stop. They're a Super Bowl team. They just are.
Yeah, Mike, I've told my partner and the listeners I feel like Kyle should already have, that hardware. But with that said, this Sunday he's going up against McVay, who's 36, Kyle's 43. Are they from the same cloth? How do you look at that battle just with their offensive genius, who do you give the nod to, or is there anybody to give the nod to?
They're both brilliant coaches, and I love McVay, his enthusiasm, his ability to motivate his guys. But the step that Shanahan has on him is Shanahan can change completely, morph into something completely different from week to week to beat you. So he's really has a grasp on, how to attack somebody better than anybody else in the league, and, their Achilles heel, so to speak. And, he's always gone in there and beaten L.A. because he did the unexpected. Go in there and against Aaron Donald, and they put the ball, they rushed the ball for whatever it was, and 6, 7, 8 minute, drives, and that was smart. He knows how to game plan better than anybody in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of ask you that because it seems like Shanahan. I mean, no matter who you ever talk to, whether it's a young person, an old person, if they've been in the league forever, everybody really respects his football mind. And you just said one of the reasons was because he's able to change style week to week. Is that a luxury that some coaches don't have because they don't have the personnel the Niners have, or is that something that he puts together?
He puts it together. He can go into a 2 or 3 tight end set at any time, and then come back in nickel. And the hard thing about Shanahan, what we thought we did fairly well was defensively. You never know what you're going to get. You can take all the tendencies on set recognition and personnel recognition and throw it out the window. You just don't know what's going to happen. Right when you think you're going to get in a passing game with him, he's going to put the ball, in the back's hands and grind it out. So, he can win rushing the ball or throwing the football. Those are great teams that can do that.
Yeah.
Mike, have you seen? I got a million questions for you. I can't ask them all, but I got to go back to this. We've talked and we've acknowledged the brilliance of Kyle Shanahan, but Mike, I talk about it all day. I don't know what Trey Lance did in that workout for the Niners to do what they did to go up and get him. Some regimes are fired, they're done, but then on the back end, you got Mr. Irrelevant and you got Brock Purdy, who may be your next franchise quarterback. Have you seen anything remotely close to this?
No, but you got to remember now, he picked both of them. So whether he got him at the end or in the beginning, he picked them both. So you can blame him for both, for the greatness of Brock Purdy. And so but that happens. Here's the thing about those kinds of guys. I understand why they fell in love with Trey Lance in those workouts, because he's going to, the games that he played, he looked terrific. The workout is going to be phenomenal. The thing you can't test, you just don't know, is his cognitive abilities under pressure with the speed of the NFL game and how well he can look and respond. If anything breaks that ability, like outside distractions or he's worried about stuff, then it really does tarnish it. So sometimes he's a young kid that floundered, and hopefully he'll get rejuvenated and what he really is. I think he's better. And I saw him; he was better in preseason this year than he's been. But he's still a ways away in terms of being able to see things get it out quickly, like Kyle wants.
Right. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate your candor.
May go Niners, buddy.
All right, that's Mike Martz.